Welcome back to the Morgan Streetman Show. We want to get into import prices, what's really happened since tariffs have been in place. And this is something, Morgan, that I've seen, you'll catch an article that grabs your attention online. Oh boy, all of your savings or all of the positive impact that a tax refund may have done for you now is negated based on the fact that we have these import taxes, or tariffs, I should say, tariffs.
Right,
yes.
right. So the way the media is reporting this, and since it's very hard for any of us to really understand economics, the way the media is reporting it, basically they can blame a lot of things on the tariffs, and we don't really know if that's right or not. So if everybody in the media is saying, the reason you're not doing well financially is it's because of these tariffs that Donald Trump put on China or whatever, it's hard for us to disprove that. You know what I mean? Because we don't understand. It's too complicated.
I thought there was almost an insurance policy that was built in some of that, exporting and stuff like that. So if it did go up or down at any time, we wouldn't feel the effects of it for a long time.
Well, what?
Owners had that in there.
Yeah. And we do have some breaking news we want to get to here. And Pat, we're going to let you do that in just a second. But just let me finish out on this tariff thing since we've jumped into it, because this is important. The Bureau of Economic Analysis has just come out with information and statistics, and it tells us about import prices in the aggregate. So the price of all imports to the U.S. And in the aggregate, those prices over the last 12 months from May of 2018 to May of 2019, the prices of imports went down by 1.5%. And that's our government statistics. They've just released that information. So the question of whether or not the tariffs are causing prices to increase is they're clearly not. They're clearly not. Now, maybe more tariffs would, or maybe the tariffs one day will if China stops subsidizing them. I don't know. But what we can say is through today, and by the way, these tariffs have been on for quite some time now. Some of them have been on for a couple of years. People forget the steel and aluminum tariffs that we've had since 2017, along with softwood lumber, durable appliances. Those tariffs have all been on for a couple of years. We've also had tariffs on China for over a year now. And we just put another set on about a month ago, and we're kind of increasing the pressure on them. So despite all these tariffs being put on everything, our import prices are going down. Now, that's not the story that the media was telling you.
No, definitely not. Now, we do have to mention export prices because China just announced, they raised tariffs from 10% to 25% on $60 billion of U.S. goods beginning on June 1st. A lot of those goods are agricultural.
Yeah, so the interesting thing to think about there is whether or not the U.S. is going to have so many agricultural goods to sell this year. So, I think look, farmers are in dire straits, and none of this is good news for farmers because the answer is they don't have the crops to sell this year because of the early rains and flooding that caused us to kind of miss the planting season. We never had the dry, early springtime when they would plant, which would be followed by all the rain, which would cause the crops to grow. Instead, this year, it's just been rain. It's been rain the whole time and flooding. And a lot of that cropland has been, effectively rendered useless for the year because it's too late at this point to do your planting. So the one thing I'll have to say is the Chinese picked the wrong year to be putting tariffs because they're not going to hurt us too much for the tariffs because we don't have that much to sell. And I'm painting with a broad brush here. I mean, believe me, I'm well aware that we're generalizing to a large degree. But it does make an interesting, lens through which we can view these activities. We can view some of these tariffs going on.
Apparently, we do buy a lot of stuff. If you go to the flea market, everything is from China.
Well, you got that right. We do. We buy a lot of stuff from China. So the fact that the import prices are going down, well, that tells us that these Chinese tariffs are not hitting our pocketbooks. Why are they not? Because China is subsidizing them, and that's exactly the plan. And the plan is to economically break China. And, I think we're well on our way to doing it. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. And if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.